So about 2 years ago, I had accomplished a lot in my life, and from every outside glance, people would look at me and think, oh, she's so successful, she's done all these things, but internally, I was broken and empty, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was searching. And through my searching, I started really dabbling into what I didn't know was named New Age. I just knew that I was really wanting to find some truth. Where are things founded? Like, what is truth? Who defines truth? I just kept taking these opinions from all of these people, and first it started with doing vision boards, and then I started really getting into the power of manifestation, to the point where I would wear pieces of jewelry, and by wearing the jewelry, it would symbolize like what I was manifesting in my own life, because in my understanding from everything I was learning is like, we are created in God's image, so we are God, and God is within us, and that is the message that is told. And so if you harness this, then you can create whatever reality you want for yourself. And so I started to really believe in this, and I would wear these pieces of jewelry, and I would manifest these things into my life. And I began to manifest large amounts of money and have this outward appearance of success, and people would come to me. I did business coaching, I did all kinds of things in the social media world, and I just still felt empty, and I had so much anxiety, and I have 4 children, but I had like resentment for my children. And so I just was searching. And so I started doing meditation, and I said, well, maybe I can find peace. And so.
I'm sorry, come on, you're doing so great. Come on, let's give her a round of applause. Every single person on this planet Earth is searching for God. They don't know what they're searching for sometimes, but they're searching for that fulfillment. And as she was searching and also dabbling into those ways that are not Christ ways to find the truth, she was doing meditation. And while you were doing that meditation, what happened to you?
Well, right before I was doing the meditation, God always puts somebody in your life. So all of you are Christians. You're going to go into people's lives who are not Christian, and just your presence of being there is so impactful to them. And so I had a babysitter who was in my life, and she would come to my house and watch my kids, and she was a devout Christian, and she would talk to me about Jesus all the time. And so I started searching for truth. And at that time, I was subscribed to Gaia, which is a subscription service of New Age. And I searched Jesus on there, and there was nothing. And I was like, what? Like, who is this Jesus? And here I am too, at this whole time, like sporadically going to church. I don't, it's just insane that I professed myself a Christian, but I didn't know what it meant to be born again. I didn't know who Jesus truly was. And so I go into my room to do meditation. And at this time, as I'm doing the meditation, typically they tell you to empty yourself. And this time I had heard to meditate on Christ. And so I did. I began to meditate on Jesus, and he appeared to me. And I floated up, and I hit a glass wall. And when I hit the glass wall, it was so thick, but I could see through it. And I was trying to find how to get through. And when I looked through, I saw Jesus. And I saw him on a throne with people surrounding him. But I couldn't get through. And I was screaming. I was like, Jesus, let me through, let me through. And I was so confused. I came back to myself, and I was just crying. I'm like, why couldn't I get to Jesus? Like, what was that? And so when I started to really kind of question it, I prayed, and I said, just with all my heart, God, if you're real, like, show me you're real. And this was like several weeks later, and I'm laying in my bed, and I'm like, just show me you're real, if you're real. And I got this image of a Bible opened up in front of me, and it just these words, read the Bible. And I never I never had even thought to read the Bible, and I have read hundreds of self-help books. I have watched hundreds of podcasts and videos, and I never once, I was like, why have I never thought to just read the Bible? The next morning I woke up, and I grew up Christian. And so my mom had left a Bible at my house, and I started reading the Bible, and I read John, and I read Luke, and as soon as I got done with Luke, I understood the truth, and I was like, Jesus is real, and he is here to save us.
Come on, let's give it up for Jesus. Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the way to the Father. So could you say at that moment you were born again?
Being born in the Holy Spirit is profound. And I was in prayer and just praying to God. And the only way that I know how, nobody teaches you how to pray. So I'm praying to God, and I stand up and I feel this, get back down, like get back down. And I'm like, okay, like I'll get back. I don't know who's, what's talking to me or why I feel this way, but okay. So I get back down, and as I go back down and I'm praying, I feel this like overwhelming love penetrate through my belly. And I hear this verse in my head, and it says that from your belly shall flow rivers of living water. And I feel it like go through me, and I just start speaking in tongues, and it was the most beautiful thing.
Come on. That is so wonderful. Katie, tell us, how did you end up at HungryGen? I know you got water baptized as well just not long ago, right?
So when you become born again, God flips your world upside down. He takes your character, he penetrates the truth through everything you see. Everything I looked at was in black and white, and suddenly the world was in full color. Suddenly I was turning off Netflix. I was changing the radio station. I was everything. And I didn't decide, I didn't do any of this. He did this for me. And it was such a spiritual awakening. I was looking for a spiritual church. I needed to find a place that was filled with other people in the church who felt this, who had this calling, who knew that we are a temple and we are God's glory. Everywhere we go, we are God's glory. And I needed that in my life. And so I ended up finding HungryGen by just going to Google. And my thought was, I'm gonna go to multiple churches until I find my home. But this was the first church I walked into. And when I walked into the church, I've never experienced the Holy Spirit outside of my own prayer. But when I walked in this church, I could breathe the Holy Spirit in. I could feel the Holy Spirit on my skin. I could feel the love of every member in the church. It was the most amazing experience. And it was just, it became home instantly.
Wow, that is so wonderful. Come on, what a beautiful testimony. Katie, really quick, in a few seconds, what advice can you give to people who find themselves in false practices like New Age or maybe even a cult seeking for truth? What would you tell them?
I know you want the truth, and I know that you think by doing more research and doing more on your own that you're going to be able to find that peace within you. But it is nothing that you can do to find peace on your own. Only Jesus can deliver that peace. Only Jesus can save you. I beg you to look into it. What is it? What is it about Jesus that pulls so many away, but they will look to all of these other platforms and man and all of these other people to try to find truth? But I'm telling you, the truth is in Jesus. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
Come on, Jesus is the truth. Thank you so much, Katie. What a wonderful testimony.